There are rules in life that you just don't break. You don't steal. You don't cheat. And you definitely, absolutely, under no circumstances, fall in love with your best friend's mother. It's the ultimate betrayal. The one line you never cross. I knew that. I respected that. Until the summer of 2025. I went to that lake house expecting a few months of sunburns and bad movies with my best friend, Maya. I expected to relax. I expected to figure out what I wanted to do with my life after graduation. What I didn't expect was for my entire world to shift on its axis the moment she walked into the room. Susan wasn't just a mother. She wasn't just Maya's mom anymore. She was a storm I wasn't prepared for. And by the time I realized I was drowning, I didn't want to be saved. Before I tell you how I got into this mess, and believe me, it gets messy, I need to ask you a favor. If you enjoy stories about forbidden romance, complicated feelings, and the secrets we keep from the people we love, please hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on notifications so you never miss a confession. Ready? Okay. Let's go back to the day everything changed. The drive up to the lake house took 4 hours. Maya talked the entire time, buzzing with excitement about being away from the city. I was excited too, mostly just to escape my own head. I was 21, aimless, and feeling like everyone else had life figured out except me. When we pulled into the gravel driveway, the house looked the same as it always had, rustic, wooden, surrounded by tall pines. But the energy was different. We hauled our bags inside, laughing about something stupid, when the screen door to the back porch slid open. "There you two are," a voice said. I froze. I hadn't seen Susan in about 3 years. In my memory, she was always in frantic mom mode, driving us to practice, cleaning up our messes, wearing oversized sweaters. The woman standing in front of me now was breathtaking. She was wearing a white linen shirt with the sleeves rolled up and denim shorts. Her hair, which used to be short, was long now, falling in loose waves over her shoulders. She wasn't frantic. She was calm. She was poised. "Hi, Mom," Maya squealed, dropping her bags to hug her. Susan hugged her back, her eyes closing briefly, but when she opened them, they locked onto mine. A small smile played on her lips. Not a polite, "nice to see you" smile, but a smile that felt like it saw right through me. "Lilian," she said, stepping toward me. Her voice was lower than I remembered. Raspier. "My goodness. You've grown up." She pulled me into a hug. I stiffened at first, shocked by how good she smelled, like vanilla, old books, and rain. My heart did this strange, traitorous flip in my chest. "Hi, Susan," I managed to say, my voice sounding way too breathless. "You look great." "Thank you," she said, pulling back but holding my gaze for a second too long. "So do you." That was the first crack in the dam. The first week was torture in the best way possible. Maya was oblivious. She was busy texting her boyfriend or planning our hiking routes. She didn't notice the way the air in the room changed whenever Susan walked in. I found myself looking for excuses to be where Susan was. If Maya wanted to go swim, I'd say I wanted to help Susan with lunch. If Maya went to nap, I'd sit on the porch while Susan gardened. We started talking. Real talking. Not the superficial chat you have with your friend's parents. One afternoon, Maya went into town to pick up supplies. I stayed behind, claiming I had a headache. The truth was, I just wanted to be near her. I found Susan in the kitchen, chopping vegetables with a kind of aggressive precision. She looked frustrated. "Need a sous chef?" I asked, leaning against the doorframe. She jumped slightly, then sighed, dropping the knife. "God, you scared me. I thought I was alone." "Just me," I said softly. "Just you," she repeated. The tension in her shoulders dropped. "You can help if you want. I'm making a mess of this." I walked over and stood next to her. The kitchen was small, so we were close. Shoulders almost brushing. I took the knife and started chopping the peppers. "You seem stressed," I ventured. Susan let out a dry laugh. "Is it that obvious? It's my husband. Maya's dad. He was supposed to come up this weekend. Cancelled again. Work emergency." She used air quotes, her eyes sad. I feel like I'm married to a ghost, Lilian. I'm 42 years old, and I feel like my life is already over. My heart broke for her. Without thinking, I turned to her. It's not over, Susan. You're literally the most vibrant person I know. She looked at me, her eyes widening slightly. The silence stretched between us, thick and heavy. You're just being nice, she whispered. I'm not, I said, my voice dropping. I'm being honest. He's an idiot if he'd rather be at work than here with you. Susan stared at me, and for a terrifying second, her gaze dropped to my lips. Then she shook her head, as if waking up from a trance. We should finish the salad before Maya gets back. She moved away, but her hand brushed mine on the counter. It was electric. A shock wave that went straight to my core. The tipping point happened 10 days into the trip. It was a Tuesday night. A massive summer storm had rolled in, knocking out the power. The lake house was plunged into darkness, lit only by the flashes of lightning outside. Maya, who was terrified of thunder, had taken a sleeping pill and passed out early in her room. I couldn't sleep. The air was too humid, too charged. I went downstairs, navigating by the light of the storm. I saw a candle flickering in the living room. Susan was there, sitting on the rug in front of the unlit fireplace, a glass of wine in her hand. The candlelight danced over her face, highlighting the curve of her neck, the sadness in her eyes. "Can't sleep?" she asked without turning around. She knew it was me. "The thunder," I lied. I sat down on the rug next to her, keeping a safe distance. "Where's the wine from?" "From a bottle I should have saved for a celebration," she said, pouring me a glass. "But tonight feels heavy, doesn't it?" We sat in silence for a long time, sipping the wine, listening to the rain hammer against the roof. The atmosphere was suffocatingly intimate. "Lilian," she said suddenly, "do you ever feel like you're waiting for something to happen? Like you're holding your breath?" "All the time," I admitted. I turned to look at her. "Especially lately." Susan turned too. In the candlelight, her eyes were dark, searching. She set her glass down. "Why do you look at me like that?" she whispered. My heart hammered against my ribs. This was it. The moment I could back out. The moment I could laugh it off and go to bed. "Like what?" I challenged, my voice shaking. "Like you see me," she said. "Like you want me." The truth hung in the air between us. "Maybe I do," I breathed out. "Maybe I have since the moment I got here." Susan let out a shaky breath. "Lilian, I'm Maya's mother. I'm married. I'm twice your age. This is wrong." "Does it feel wrong?" I asked, inching closer. "No," she confessed, a tear slipping down her cheek. "God help me, it feels like the only real thing I've felt in years." She reached out, her hand trembling as she cupped my face. Her thumb brushed my cheekbone. I leaned into her touch, closing my eyes. "Susan," I whispered. Then she closed the gap. Her lips were soft, tasting of wine and desperation. It wasn't a tentative kiss. It was hungry. It was a collision of everything we had been holding back for weeks. My hands found her waist, pulling her closer, and she made a soft sound in the back of her throat that vibrated through my entire body. For that night, the rain, the guilt, Maya sleeping upstairs, none of it mattered. It was just us. That night changed everything. The next morning, the power came back on. The sun came out. Maya woke up, cheerful and rested, asking if we wanted pancakes. I sat at the table, watching Susan pour coffee. She looked at me, her cheeks flushing pink, and gave me a tiny secret smile. I knew we were playing with fire. I knew that eventually, this secret would burn the whole house down. But as I watched her laugh at something Maya said, catching my eye over the rim of her mug, I knew I was already too far gone to put out the flames. We had 3 weeks of summer left. And we were going to use every single second of it. But how long can you keep a secret like that when your best friend is sleeping in the next room?